A sting more painful than being shot. A bite that quietly invades your brain. A tiny creature responsible for more human deaths than every shark, lion, and snake combined. They aren't monsters. Most are small enough to disappear into the palm of your hand. Yet hidden inside these tiny bodies are some of the most terrifying weapons evolution has ever created. Venoms, parasites, neurotoxins, and defenses capable of bringing creatures hundreds of times their size to their knees. Today, we're counting down 10 of the most dangerous tiny creatures on Earth. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at insects the same way again. 10. Flower Praying Mantis. At first glance, it looks more like a flower than an animal. Its delicate wings shimmer with shades of green, cream, and soft pink, blending perfectly among tropical blossoms. Even experienced hikers can walk past without ever realizing it was watching them. This is the flower praying mantis. A tiny ambush hunter that survives not through speed, but by becoming almost invisible. Everything about it seems harmless, elegant, fragile, almost ornamental. But appearances can be dangerously misleading. When threatened or handled carelessly, this small predator can release defensive secretions that may cause intense burning and irritation, especially if they reach the eyes or broken skin. While not considered deadly to healthy humans, that sudden chemical defense is enough to turn simple curiosity into a painful mistake. Its greatest weapon, however, isn't venom. It's deception. The mantis waits in complete silence, perfectly disguised among flowers. Then, the instant an insect comes within reach, its lightning-fast forelegs snap shut in less than a tenth of a second. Nature follows one simple rule. The most beautiful things are not always the safest to touch. And while this hunter relies on camouflage, the next creature doesn't need to hide. Its greatest weapon is something far more invisible. One of Africa's most feared parasites. 9. Tsetse Fly. It doesn't bite out of aggression. It bites because it needs blood to survive. And that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Across the grasslands and forests of sub-Saharan Africa, the tsetse fly searches quietly for warm-blooded animals. Cattle, antelope, buffalo, and sometimes, humans. Barely larger than a honeybee, its bite feels like nothing more than a small prick. But the real danger begins after the bite. Hidden inside its saliva can be a microscopic parasite called Trypanosoma brucei. Once inside the bloodstream, it spreads silently through the body. At first, the symptoms resemble an ordinary illness. Fever, headaches, joint pain, swollen lymph nodes. Then the parasites move toward the brain. Sleep becomes disrupted. Confusion replaces clear thinking. As the nervous system begins to fail, victims may struggle to walk, speak, or even recognize the people around them. Without treatment, African sleeping sickness can become fatal. For centuries, entire communities avoided regions where tsetse flies were common, fearing the invisible disease carried on their tiny wings. Ironically, the fly isn't trying to kill anything. It is simply an unwilling carrier, transporting one of Africa's most infamous parasites from host to host. But even this deadly messenger cannot match our next creature. Because the world's most dangerous animal is one almost every person has encountered at least once. 8. Anopheles Mosquito. You've probably swatted one away without a second thought. A faint buzz. A tiny itch. Just a few seconds of annoyance. It seems impossible that something so small could become the deadliest animal on Earth. Unlike snakes, lions, or sharks, the Anopheles mosquito doesn't kill with venom or brute strength. Its true weapon is disease. Only the female drinks blood, using it to produce eggs. As she feeds, she can unknowingly inject microscopic plasmodium parasites into the bloodstream. The bite is almost painless. Most people never realize the danger has already begun. Within days, the parasites travel to the liver before invading millions of red blood cells. Then the symptoms appear. High fever, violent chills, drenching sweats, crushing fatigue. As the infection spreads, malaria can damage the brain, lungs, and other vital organs, becoming a life-threatening disease. Every year, hundreds of millions of people are infected, and hundreds of thousands die, most of them young children living in tropical regions. That staggering toll makes the mosquito responsible for more human deaths than any predator in history. Not because it hunts people, but because it unknowingly carries one of humanity's oldest enemies. Yet our next creature doesn't rely on parasites at all. Its venom alone is among the most powerful ever measured in the insect world. 7. Maricopa Harvester Ant. Imagine standing in the Arizona desert, when a sharp sting suddenly shoots through your ankle. Then another, and another. Within seconds, dozens of tiny reddish ants swarm over your boot, each delivering another dose of venom. Meet the Maricopa Harvester Ant. A small desert insect that spends its days collecting seeds and building vast underground colonies beneath the scorching sands of the American Southwest. At first glance, it seems harmless, peaceful, hard-working, easy to ignore. But hidden inside its stinger is one of the most potent venoms in the insect world. Gram for gram, scientists estimate its venom is around 20 times more toxic than that of a honeybee. One sting is intensely painful. Hundreds delivered together can overwhelm small mammals with astonishing speed. Unlike honeybees, these ants survive after stinging and can attack repeatedly while defending their colony. The moment danger is detected, chemical alarm signals race through the nest. Seconds later, the ground seems to come alive as hundreds of defenders emerge at once. It's proof that nature doesn't always rely on the strongest individual. Sometimes, perfect teamwork becomes the deadliest weapon. And while these ants depend on the power of an entire colony, our next hunter needs no help at all. It can sting again and again, without ever losing its weapon. 6. Yellow Jacket Wasp. You're enjoying a quiet summer picnic. Then a yellow and black insect lands on your drink. You wave it away. It circles back. A moment later, what seemed like a harmless interruption becomes a painful attack. This is the yellow jacket, one of the most aggressive wasps in the natural world. Unlike honeybees, yellow jackets don't die after stinging. Their smooth stingers allow them to strike again and again, injecting venom with every attack. A single sting feels like a burst of fire beneath the skin. Sharp, immediate, relentless. For most people, the pain gradually fades. But for someone with a severe allergy, that tiny sting can quickly become life-threatening. Within minutes, the throat may begin to swell. Breathing becomes difficult. Blood pressure drops. Without emergency treatment, anaphylactic shock can be fatal. What makes yellow jackets especially dangerous is the way they defend their colony. One sting releases alarm pheromones that summon nearby workers. Suddenly, one attacker becomes 10, then dozens. A swarm can pursue intruders surprisingly far, turning a simple mistake into a terrifying escape. Ironically, these wasps aren't hunting humans. Most attacks happen because someone unknowingly disturbs a hidden nest beneath the ground, inside a fallen log, or behind the walls of a building. They're simply protecting their home. But for anyone caught in the middle of that defensive swarm, a few seconds can feel like forever. And while dozens of stings are terrifying, our next creature needs only a single bite. It waits in complete silence, before unleashing one of the most powerful neurotoxins in the natural world. 5. Redback Spider. It hides where few people think to look. Beneath outdoor furniture, inside garages, under flower pots, and sometimes, just inches from your hand. The redback spider may be no larger than a thumbnail, but its glossy black body and distinctive red stripe have become one of Australia's most recognizable warning signs. Unlike many spiders that flee from danger, the female redback often remains inside her tangled web, waiting patiently for insects, or anything else unfortunate enough to disturb it. One bite is usually enough. At first, it may feel like little more than a pinprick. But within minutes, the venom begins attacking the nervous system. Pain spreads far beyond the bite. Muscles tighten. Sweating becomes intense. Nausea and vomiting may follow. In severe cases, breathing becomes difficult as the powerful neurotoxin, known as alpha-latrotoxin, overwhelms the body's nerve signals. Before modern antivenom, redback bites occasionally proved fatal. Today, serious outcomes are far less common thanks to rapid medical treatment. Still, thousands of people require medical attention every year after encounters with this tiny hunter. The redback doesn't chase humans. It simply waits. Quietly. Patiently. Trusting that sooner or later, something will come to it. And if you think a venomous spider is unsettling, the next creature is even more intimidating. Because it doesn't hide in a web, it hunts you across the ground. 4. Giant Desert Centipede. It doesn't spin webs. It doesn't wait for its prey. It hunts. Usually under the cover of darkness. Slithering silently across the desert floor, the giant desert centipede is one of the largest centipedes in North America, growing up to 20 centimeters long. With dozens of legs moving in perfect rhythm, it looks more like something from a prehistoric nightmare than a modern animal. But its appearance is only the beginning. At the front of its body are two powerful venom claws called forcipules. The moment it strikes, those claws pierce deep into its victim, injecting venom designed to overwhelm the nervous system of small animals. Rodents, lizards, frogs, even snakes have been recorded falling victim to this relentless predator. For humans, a bite is rarely fatal. But that doesn't make it harmless. Victims often describe an explosion of burning pain, followed by rapid swelling, nausea, vomiting, and in some cases, localized tissue damage around the wound. Unlike many predators that avoid confrontation, the giant desert centipede is surprisingly bold. When cornered, it doesn't hesitate to raise the front of its body, exposing its venom claws before launching a lightning-fast attack. It is a reminder that not every hunter needs speed. Some simply need the confidence to strike first. And if this night hunter seems terrifying, the next creature carries a venom so powerful that just a single sting can become a life-threatening emergency. 3. Deathstalker scorpion. In the deserts of North Africa and the Middle East, one tiny shadow is feared more than almost anything else. Not because it's large, not because it's fast, but because hidden inside its tail is one of the most powerful venoms ever produced by a scorpion. Meet the Deathstalker. Barely the length of a human hand, this pale yellow predator spends its days hidden beneath rocks and inside narrow crevices, emerging only after sunset to hunt. When threatened, it doesn't hesitate. Its tail arches forward. The stinger strikes with incredible speed. And within seconds, an intensely burning pain spreads from the wound. Its venom is packed with potent neurotoxins that attack the nervous system, causing severe pain, muscle spasms, rapid heartbeat, and difficulty breathing. For a healthy adult, modern medical care usually prevents the worst outcomes. But for young children, older adults, or anyone left untreated, a sting can become life-threatening. Despite its terrifying reputation, the Deathstalker isn't an aggressive killer. It would rather avoid humans whenever possible. Most stings happen because someone unknowingly reaches beneath a rock, slips on a shoe left outside overnight, or disturbs the scorpion's hiding place. It's another reminder that nature's most dangerous encounters often begin with a simple accident. And while the Deathstalker's venom is terrifying, the next creature doesn't sting at all. It looks unbelievably soft, almost inviting you to touch it. That innocent mistake could become one of the most painful experiences of your life. 2. Puss Caterpillar. If you saw it crawling across a tree branch, your first instinct probably wouldn't be to run. It looks soft, fluffy, almost like a tiny piece of cotton drifting in the breeze. Some people even mistake it for a harmless pet. And that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. This is the Puss Caterpillar. Found across parts of the southern United States, Mexico, and Central America, it's often called one of the most venomous caterpillars in the world. Its silky coat may look inviting, but hidden beneath those long hairs are rows of venom-filled spines. The moment bare skin brushes against them, the fragile spines snap off and inject venom almost instantly. What follows is something few people ever forget. Victims describe the pain as sudden, explosive, and almost unbearable. The burning sensation can spread far beyond the point of contact, traveling up an entire arm or leg within minutes. Some people experience severe swelling, headaches, nausea, chest pain, muscle cramps, and difficulty breathing. In more serious cases, emergency medical treatment is required to manage the body's reaction. The remarkable part is that the caterpillar never chases anyone. It simply rests quietly on tree trunks, shrubs, or leaves, relying on its innocent appearance to keep predators from recognizing the danger. Its greatest defense isn't speed or aggression. It's deception. Nature has wrapped one of its most painful weapons inside one of its softest disguises. And yet, even this living illusion doesn't claim the top spot. Because the next creature carries a weapon so unimaginably painful that people compare its sting to being shot by a bullet. 1. Bullet ant. Imagine resting your hand against the trunk of a rainforest tree, then suddenly, a pain so violent explodes through your arm that people compare it to being shot by a bullet. Not bitten by a snake, not stung by a scorpion, by an ant. Deep inside the rainforests of Central and South America lives the bullet ant, one of nature's smallest creatures with one of its most terrifying defenses. Nearly 3 centimeters long, it's enormous by ant standards, with powerful jaws and a glossy black body that patrols the forest floor and climbs high into the trees in search of food. But its true weapon lies at the end of its abdomen. A single sting injects a venom-containing ponerotoxin, a powerful neurotoxin that attacks the nervous system. The pain arrives almost instantly. Victims describe it as pure, overwhelming agony. Not for a few minutes, but for hours. Sometimes even an entire day. The affected limb may tremble uncontrollably. Muscles become difficult to move. Even the slightest touch can feel unbearable. Entomologist Justin Schmidt, who spent decades studying insect stings, ranked the bullet ant at the very top of his famous pain index. His description became legendary. Pure, intense, brilliant pain, like walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail in your heel. Yet perhaps the most astonishing story isn't the sting itself, but the people who willingly endure it. For the Satirma people of the Amazon, young warriors prove their courage by placing their hands into woven gloves filled with dozens of live bullet ants. The ants sting repeatedly, again and again, for several agonizing minutes. The pain can continue long after the ritual ends, sometimes leaving the hands shaking uncontrollably for hours. To outsiders, it seems unimaginable. To them, it is a symbol of strength, endurance, and the passage into adulthood. Ironically, despite its fearsome reputation, the bullet ant has no interest in hunting humans. It uses its sting only when threatened or defending its colony. Like every creature on this list, it isn't cruel. It isn't evil. It is simply the result of millions of years of evolution, perfecting one extraordinary way to survive. Sometimes, nature doesn't need enormous predators to inspire fear. Sometimes, all it takes is an ant. From an ant with a sting compared to a bullet, to a caterpillar hiding unbearable pain beneath soft fur, to tiny hunters carrying venom, parasites, and weapons powerful enough to overwhelm creatures many times their size. These remarkable survivors reveal one unforgettable truth. In nature, size means almost nothing. The smallest creatures often carry the greatest dangers. Yet none of them evolved to hunt humans. They simply perfected extraordinary ways to survive in a world where only the most adaptable endure. And somewhere, hidden beneath another leaf, inside another rainforest, or crawling silently across the forest floor, another tiny masterpiece of evolution is waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this journey into nature's smallest killers, be sure to subscribe to CurioVerse Wild for more unbelievable wonders from the natural world. Because sometimes, the most terrifying creatures on Earth are also the easiest to overlook.